guest today has spent her entire career at the intersection of medicine, story, and the inner lives of children. Dr. Sayantani DasGupta is a pediatrician, a narrative medicine scholar at Columbia University, a New York Times best-selling children's author, and one of those rare people who can write about Bengali demons, colonial politics at the museums, the multiverse, all in the same breath. Her publisher has described her work as Bengali folktale and string theory inspired, and being all of it, it is great fun for kids as well as me, an adult, all included in one.
Oh, of course, it's hard to be what you can't see, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So you grew up in Ohio and New Jersey, not exactly Bengali heartland, but your childhood trips to Kolkata gave you the stories. There's something very specific about growing in an immigrant family where stories at home are beautiful, enormous, vivid, but they're not marketable in school. You couldn't exactly bring a Rakosh to a show and tell.
And I think my parents were also very, very aware that that wave of immigration owed a lot to the activism of African Americans, right?
Right.
Who had, in this country, I think the civil rights movement was a big reason that post-1965 immigration laws changed. And so many of us were able, to have our families come. And so in a sense, it both, allowed for that connection making to be seen, as well as it was a, somewhat lonely experience. As I became an adult in this country, and as I had my own children, because I was a pediatrician, because I was, an academic, and I wasn't a children's writer until later in my career, I can really say that it wasn't until my own children were having the same experience of not seeing themselves in literature that I had. So when I was young, in the 70s, in the 1980s, I did not see anyone who looked like me represented in books, in movies, on posters, nothing.
Right.
And I figured 30 years later, as I had my own children, that the situation would be different. Right. And as it happens, it wasn't actually that different. And my own children, when, who are young adults now, when they were becoming big readers in that golden age of children's literature, they were reading, let's say, Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, some of the early books, right?